In a world gripped by conflict and uncertainty, humanity sought to gain an edge in the age-old struggle for power and dominance. This quest led to the development of a revolutionary program, the creation of super soldiers. Spearheaded by Dr. Maria Ramirez, a brilliant scientist with a vision for the future, the program aimed to enhance human capabilities beyond imagination. Among the first subjects of the program was Sergeant John Reynolds, a skilled and dedicated soldier whose unwavering loyalty made him the ideal candidate for enhancement. Undergoing a series of groundbreaking procedures and treatments, John emerged as the prototype super soldier, his strength, speed, and intellect elevated to unparalleled levels. But as John grappled with his newfound abilities and the weight of his responsibilities, he couldn't shake the nagging question: what did it truly mean to be a super soldier? Chapter 2. The Unveiling. As the first batch of super soldiers was unveiled to the world, reactions varied. While some hailed them as the ultimate solution to global conflicts, others viewed them with skepticism and apprehension. Among the skeptics was Dr. Emma Thompson, a renowned bioethicist who questioned the ethical implications of creating enhanced individuals for military purposes. Delving into the moral complexities of the super soldier program, Dr. Thompson uncovered a host of concerns regarding consent, autonomy, and the potential for abuse. But as she delved deeper into the shadowy world of government secrecy and corporate interests, Dr. Thompson realized that the true dangers of the super soldier program extended far beyond ethical dilemmas. Behind the facade of strength and power lay a darker truth, one that threatened to tear society apart. Chapter 3. The Betrayal. As tensions escalated and rivalries flared, a sinister plot unfolded within the highest echelons of power. Driven by greed and ambition, a shadowy cabal sought to exploit the super soldiers for their own nefarious ends, plunging the world into chaos and turmoil. Caught in the crossfire was John Reynolds, torn between his loyalty to his superiors and his duty to protect the innocent. As the lines between friend and foe blurred, John found himself embroiled in a deadly game of deception and betrayal, where trust was a rare commodity. But as the truth emerged and alliances shifted, John realized that the true enemy lay not in the shadows, but within the very heart of the system he once swore to serve. Chapter 4. The Resistance. In the face of overwhelming odds, a spark of rebellion ignited among the ranks of the super soldiers. Led by John and Dr. Thompson, they rallied against their former masters, determined to reclaim their autonomy and forge their own destiny. With each victory, the resistance grew stronger, drawing support from disillusioned soldiers, oppressed civilians, and unlikely allies alike. Together, they waged a guerrilla war against the forces of tyranny, striking from the shadows and sowing seeds of dissent wherever they went. But as the conflict escalated and the stakes grew higher, John and Dr. Thompson knew that their fight was far from over. For in a world where everyone had super soldiers, the line between hero and villain blurred, and the true test of humanity lay not in strength, but in courage, compassion, and the willingness to stand up for what was right. Chapter 5. The Dawn of a New Era. As the dust settled and the smoke cleared, the world emerged from the crucible of conflict forever changed. With the super soldier program dismantled and its architects brought to justice, a new dawn beckoned on the horizon. In the aftermath of the war, John and Dr. Thompson stood as beacons of hope, guiding the world towards a future where power was wielded not for conquest, but for the betterment of humanity. And as they looked to the future, they knew that their journey was far from over, for the true legacy of the super soldiers lay not in their strength, but in the spirit of resilience and unity that endured in the hearts of all who dared to dream of a better world. With the remnants of the super soldier program dismantled and the truth about its corruption exposed, the world teetered on the brink of a new era. But amidst the chaos and uncertainty, a glimmer of hope emerged. John Reynolds and Dr. Thompson, along with their allies, worked tirelessly to rebuild society and restore faith in humanity. Their efforts were met with resistance from those who sought to exploit the chaos for their own gain, but the tide was turning in favor of justice and righteousness. As the days passed, John and Dr. Thompson became symbols of resilience and perseverance, inspiring others to join their cause. Together, they formed a new coalition dedicated to upholding the principles of freedom, equality, and justice for all. But the road ahead was fraught with challenges. The scars of war ran deep, and healing would take time. Yet, amidst the ruins of the old world, a new one began to take shape, a world where the lessons of the past were not forgotten, and where the sacrifices of those who fought for a better future were honored. Chapter 7. Trials and Tribulations. As the fledgling coalition worked to establish order and rebuild society, they faced numerous challenges and obstacles along the way. Old divisions and rivalries threatened to tear them apart, while external threats loomed on the horizon. One such threat came in the form of rogue elements from the former super soldier program, who sought to regroup and rebuild their forces in secret. Led by a charismatic and ruthless leader known only as the Commander, they posed a significant threat to the fragile peace that John and his allies had fought so hard to achieve. Determined to prevent history from repeating itself, John and Dr. Thompson led their coalition in a series of daring raids and covert operations to dismantle the Commander's organization. It was a dangerous game of cat and mouse, with the fate of the world hanging in the balance. But despite the odds stacked against them, John and his allies refused to back down. They knew that the future of humanity depended on their success, and they were willing to risk everything to ensure that the world would never again fall under the shadow of tyranny. Chapter 8. Redemption and Reconciliation. As the conflict with the Commander reached its climax, John and his allies made a startling discovery. Not all of the former super soldiers were loyal to their cause. In fact, many had been coerced into serving the Commander against their will, their enhanced abilities exploited for his own gain. Moved by compassion and a desire for redemption, John reached out to these disillusioned soldiers, offering them a chance to join their coalition and fight for a better future. Together, they formed an unlikely alliance, united in their determination to right the wrongs of the past and build a brighter tomorrow. But even as they worked to reconcile their differences and forge a path forward, old wounds refused to heal easily. Trust was hard won, and forgiveness even harder. Yet, through perseverance and a shared commitment to a common cause, they began to lay the groundwork for a new era of cooperation and understanding. Chapter 9. A New Dawn. As the dust settled and the smoke cleared, a sense of optimism pervaded the air. The threat of the Commander had been vanquished, and the former super soldiers had found redemption in the eyes of their peers. John Reynolds and Dr. Thompson stood at the forefront of this new era, their leadership and vision guiding humanity towards a future of peace and prosperity. Together, they worked to rebuild society, forging alliances and fostering cooperation among nations. But amidst the celebrations and the triumphs, they never forgot the lessons of the past. They knew that the road ahead would be long and arduous, and that challenges would inevitably arise along the way. Yet they also knew that as long as they stood united, there was nothing that they couldn't overcome. And so, as the sun rose on a new day, John Reynolds and Dr. Thompson looked towards the horizon with hope in their hearts, ready to face whatever the future might bring. For in a world where everyone had super soldiers, the true measure of strength lay not in physical prowess, but in the resilience of the human spirit and the power of unity.